Super Mario Sunshine, man, what a game. Yet, despite its name and bright atmosphere, it seems to have left many gamers' hearts and opinions on it a little clouded. Out of all the many Mario games, why are people so divided on this GameCube classic? Well, whether you've been a hardcore Mario fan for years, like myself, or you're new to gaming and maybe you haven't touched any GameCube games, make sure to stick around as I talk about some of the big reasons why it's disliked, and some of the reasons why maybe you should give it a shot. But before you do, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons, so that way I know I got some fellow gamers watching, and so you don't miss any new videos. Thanks guys, into the video. Now, I'd like to first just say how much I appreciate the feedback for my Mario Party 5 video. You guys subscribed, you liked, and you left some really encouraging and engaging comments. It really helped calm some anxieties I had over starting this new video format, and it motivates me to keep improving. Anyways, I should start off by saying that I grew up with Mario Sunshine, and personally, I'm a huge fan, and I consider it a top 5 game all time for me. Now, this isn't me bashing people who don't like the game and telling you, I'm right, you're wrong. It's more of, listen, these are the pros, these are the cons, make your own decision, and hopefully play the game for yourself if you haven't. It's not too hard to come up with a couple problematic aspects about the game, whether by playing it or asking others who have. As stated, I've played the game and completed it many times, but I have a couple things in my eyes that they could have done better, and I also wanted other opinions, so I did a quick Google search and went to the most reliable place on the internet, Reddit. It seems this question was already asked in the subreddit r/Mario, and it had quite a many responses. After combining my own opinions with the opinions of dozens of others who had played the game and left responses across the internet, I was able to come up with 5 things that hold the game back in the eyes of the so-called haters. Those 5 are the bosses, level design, the theme, the cutscenes, and then I sorted through physics and movesets into one category since most people have gave overlapping arguments for those. So let's hit on the game's theme first, because I feel like it is the weakest argument. A lot of people apparently don't like the fact that the whole game is vacation themed, which is odd for a couple reasons. I know people like variety, but it's not like this game doesn't have that. Sure, it's got several beaches, that's kind of the idea, but it's also got a haunted hotel, and a casino, and an amusement park, a treetop village, a loading and shipping bay, and a volcano. I think that's as much variety as you could ask for with a broad theme like vacation. The theme as a knock against Mario Sunshine doesn't really hold up well with me, especially when the game does such a good job of complementing it with the awesome soundtrack, bright sunny graphics, and the level design. Plus, how can you say that when Mario Galaxy is literally just a whole game about Mario in space? I don't see how you can hate on one and not the other, or like one and not the other. Now, for the cutscenes, the big reason why people don't like those is because they're voiced. Yes, this was an interesting choice for a GameCube Mario game, but hey, the GameCube era was bold after all. And again, I have a hard time taking this argument super seriously just for 2 big reasons. First, the cutscenes do take up a good chunk of time at the beginning of the game, but really are only in the intro of the game, outside of one in the middle and one at the end. And yes, the first half hour or so will be filled with Mario on a plane, Mario finding a talking water jetpack, Mario getting arrested. Yeah, Mario gets arrested. And then Mario goes to court. Okay, yeah, don't even get me started at how rigged that was. And then Mario goes to jail. Okay, this isn't even surprising anyone anymore. Anyways, all that happens and Mario finds out he is an evil doppelganger who loves graffiti. All that will dominate your first bit of the game. But after that, you're pretty much free to enjoy a great game, outside of a cutscene halfway through where, listen, I know the game is 20 plus years old, but let's keep some of it a secret. And the other reason why the cutscenes have never really dragged me down personally is that I just don't think they're that bad. Corny, sure, but that's part of the charm, right? I mean, they could be skippable, that would be nice, but at least they look good. And that being said, yes, the Bowser voice is bad. Very bad, I'll say that much. I definitely wish you could skip those. But the rest just seem like average Mario cutscenes with talking voices in there. Now we're getting to the meat of the video. And I say that because this argument I really don't have anything for. I actually agree this may be my least favorite thing about the game. Don't get me wrong, Mario Sunshine has some decent bosses like King Boo, the angry Wiggler fight, and my personal favorite, the Manta boss fight, even though that boss wrecked me as a kid. The keyword there, however, is some. For every Manta boss fight, there's a Goopy Piranha boss fight, or a Petey Piranha fight, maybe a Blooper boss fight. And regardless of if you consider them boss fights, having to chase Shadow Mario around 8 times in the most boring manner possible is not a lot of fun. That fight should have been done after, like, what, the first time? The least they could have done if they reused bosses was make the fights feel different, I guess? At least with Petey Piranha, they have him fly around for a bit and give him a tornado attack. With Blooper, they give you a smaller platform to navigate. And with the Goopy Piranhas, really the only effort is to give them 2 extra hits to go down and change the goop color. But with Shadow Mario, they could have done so much more and put in so much more brain power. Imagine if Shadow Mario interacted with the level more, or spawned in enemies from that area. Maybe he kidnapped and rode a Yoshi, and you had to chase him on a Yoshi and have a Yoshi fight, or throw fruit at him. I don't know. Anything would have been better. Also, while we're on bosses, honorable mention to the Mecha Bowser boss fight at Peanut Park. I actually really liked that one, and I've gotten pretty good. And fighting a boss on a roller coaster ride, that's awesome. And shooting the balloons for Mission 8, not as awesome. The level design is an interesting one because at times, I completely agree. It could be way better. And other times, I really don't have a problem with the levels. Some of the commonly hated levels I hear of are levels like the Pachinko level, the Lily Pad level, the Chuckster level, and the Watermelon Escort level. There's definitely some others, but like I said, those are near the top of the list. And with this type of argument, it's honestly really just kind of up to you and your own experiences. I'll be honest, I don't think the Pachinko level is really that hard.
Get this bum out of here, will you? Just get this bum out of here already, huh?
Yeah, you'll get an occasional bug or glitch that makes you have to redo your progress, but looking around online, I was actually astonished at how very close to nobody could beat this level on the first try. Again, the last thing I want to do is devalue your opinion or experience. And I'm not saying this is fact, it's just my experience. If it helps, I found there is a real strategy you can try by holding the control stick in different directions, just as Mario is going up the machine, but again, you do have to be really careful, and it's not foolproof. This does work about 9 out of 10 times, so you will have the instance where Mario kind of just doesn't do what he's supposed to. The Chuckster level I'm split on. If I'm being honest, I think that while it can be a little confusing or frustrating your first go around, I kind of like the element of surprise it gives you every time you approach a new Pianta to see where they chuck you. I will, however, submit to the fact that it gets significantly more annoying when you're trying to do the red coin mission here. Definitely take timing, planning your route. You have to kind of memorize the angles at which they chuck, which for new or younger players can turn out to be a real mother chucker. The Watermelon Escort mission can undoubtedly be weird. Like, you'll take a good path and strategize how to stay away from enemies, and then next thing you know, you hit the wrong pixel and whoops, there goes your melon. Yet somehow your melon can slide down the hill and take a huge fall and be totally fine. It's a neat idea, escorting people I've heard of. Escorting fruit, now that's a new one. You know, the funny thing is that with all these other levels, I've explained why myself or others don't like this one. But with this level, it's not even the level I take issue with. Sure, it is frustrating, but what's even more frustrating is why the heck I have to put in so much freaking work to get to the freaking level. I mean, seriously, if this level were just in a pipe, or behind some goo, or a door, or if Yoshi could swim, it'd be different. And if, you know, maybe you just did all that and the level was a cakewalk, that would be acceptable too. Luckily, I always saved this level for the very end when I had plenty of lives. But I can't imagine the countless people that got curious mid-game, probably just, you know, had a couple lives, and they traveled all that way to get in there, quickly lost a couple lives, only to be teleported out, and had to do it all over again. For anyone that has ever experienced that, I truly feel for you. Yes, maybe I need to calm down, but frankly, I hate it here. Now, before the last topic, it wouldn't be fair to talk about the bad levels without the good ones. Some personal favorites include Blooper Surfing Safari, Cage Shine Sprite, Sandbird is Born, yes, I said it, red coins on the pirate ship, and while I realize it's not a level, I do like throwing the fruit in the baskets and Delfino Plaza for blue coins. The pineapple one especially makes me feel like I'm NBA legend Luka Doncic. Go Mavs, by the way, if the series isn't already over when this drops. So for the last topic, maybe we could lump everything together and just label the issue Mario? Since it's Mario's physics and movesets, this was definitely the most complicated and in-depth argument I saw online. So if it sounds like a wad of mess, I apologize. Let me get it out and let's talk about it. So, people seem to dislike Mario's moveset and his quick acceleration, as well as his usage of his new water jetpack buddy Flood, or Flash Liquidizing Ultra Dousing device for short. Out of all those, the acceleration is the main one I can understand, as in certain parts of the game with funny or small shaped platforms, like in the secret Floodless levels, that's quite a nuisance. Mario will run off every which way and slip off any platform you could imagine. Regarding how both Flood and Mario's moveset, however, I'm not as off-put by either. In my experience, they complement each other really well. I like in Mario 64 and in later Mario games, instead of focusing on how Mario can move from side to side and forward and backward, Mario Sunshine is more of a vertical game with an emphasis on how high can Mario get up. Don't believe me? There's a literal rocket nozzle that, spoiler alert, is kind of necessary for the last level and boss fight. I know a lot of people were upset to see Mario's iconic long jump taken out of the game, but let's be honest, Mario's still very athletic without it. Imagine if they had left that in, many parts of the game would get way easier, and probably be fairly broken. There's already several levels I find that are a joke because of the hovering around, and I guess you could say that is a knock against the game, and that could be true, but it's also a reason not to have the long jump in. As for Flood, I think he's super unique and original. Most complaints I've heard about him are coming from people that I know are big fans of Mario Odyssey, which is also another very gimmicky Mario game. So I don't see how you can really hate on Mario Sunshine for that. So yeah, that's some of the main reasons why Mario Sunshine gets the cold shoulder from many gamers. There's several others I could have brought up that I didn't think were legit issues and more so just minor nuances based on preference. Kind of like the game's camera. I saw one or two comments about the camera, but I couldn't really find anyone elaborating on it, and I never have really taken issue with it, so I couldn't have much to say about that one. And of course, your opinion of the game will largely be crafted upon, well, your playthrough and your experience with the game. Don't take what someone else on the internet tells you, myself included, and just turn around and make it the gospel. Where's the fun in that? As always, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, and please subscribe and let me know in the comments your opinion on Mario Sunshine, and maybe give one thing you like or don't like about the game. And if you enjoyed hearing about the single-player Mario game that tends to be divisive among fans, then you definitely don't want to miss the last video I did about a multiplayer Mario game that is sure to be divisive between friends. Click right up here and experience a new side of Mario.